Shalom, my name is Yehoshua Yaakov. This is being made from Jerusalem, and it's a comment upon the Barack Obama's orientation on Israeli society, and remembering his visit in the winter of 2006. Significantly, Israel's security is sacrosanct. It's non-negotiable. The good news, Barak, is that heaven protects Israel, not the IDF, not our F-16s. Those are mere window dressings and transactional deterrence. But the strategic and the fundamental protection is the God of the cosmos is the God of Israel. That's our protection. Secondly, that Israel's must be and remain a Jewish state in our tradition of thousands of years as derived from our blessed Torah. Israel cannot and will not remain a Jewish state because as a Jewish state it has failed, and its articulation of that Jewish state as a Zionist Jewish state has collapsed. Is no longer a viable operational reality on the ground. And I personally believe that Israel must and will be and will remain for centuries far more successful as a state for the Jews, but not as a Jewish state, because in the latter case, as a Jewish state, it has shown an extreme propensity for injustice and racism that is untenable and absolutely inconsistent with the principles of morality and ethics as derived from our blessed Torah. So they're not sustainable. And having said that, I think that the collapse of the local reality around the globe was first observed in Jerusalem by this didactic scientist. I observed it about 18 years ago, and I followed the problem. And the meaning of the collapse of the local reality after it collapsed in the Soviet Union on December 25th, 1991. What was its local reality there at the time? It was communism. The next year it collapsed in Yugoslavia. Its local reality also was communism. It collapsed. It came to Israel in 1995, and with the murder of Rabin, the local reality here collapsed, which was its Zionism. All disclaimers and denials since and hasbara and spinning to date, it's irreversible, it's collapsed, it won't be back. So the question that I will limit in this video to Israel is what in fact comes after it. Well, the post-collapse of the local reality that ended Israel's Zionism will bring into being the East-West convergence model in general, and in particular, that is Humanomics in general and its central organizing principle, receiving to give. And why is this so? Because receiving to give is absolutely consistent both with our tradition and the secular population of Israel. So the traditional spiritualist and the secular humanists converge. And so what am I saying? The future of Israel, based upon the new model of humanomics, converges secular humanism and traditional spiritualism, or the Haredi and Dati communities, in harmony. And that same convergence on the larger scale, on the global scale, is the East-West convergence model, because the collapse of local realities brought the collapse of both the East and West systems. Now, on the global scale, in terms of secularism, you have secular humanism, and even its extended debilitated logics that reach as far as atheism are embraced and converge in humanomics. Having said that, we move on to the central organizing principle. We come back to humanomics is comprised of two principles: receiving to give, its central organizing principle, and the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. Receiving to give means what? It means receiving the authentic you, to give the authentic you to the authentic you, to your spouse, to your children, to your family, and your community. Now, having said that, that is the reason that it is not just acceptable, but it is valued and respected and desired by the religious of Israel, as well as the secular. Now, why? Because of the secular? Because at first the religious accept it as the halakha of redemption, which has to do with their religious persuasion. But the secular also recognize that it's the first principle of cognitive behavioral science. The other paradigm has the same logic of a gold coin with two sides. It's the new economic paradigm, and it's also the Gomorrah, in one sense, of redemption. I won't go into that, Talmud Yerushalmis, etc., etc., etc. So it's appealing to both, okay? Because what we ultimately end up with is a convergence between secular humanism and traditional spiritualism, which are the two major constituencies of division in the nation-state of Israel. Well, that's also going to bring the same, redundantly so, it will bring the convergence between Palestinians and Israelis. Why? For the simple reason that for that convergence to occur first in Israel between religious and secular, which I've just described, is to bring to the forefront an entirely new order of leadership based upon moderates. And that's precisely what is needed to end the religious bickering and the polarizations that have occurred over decades, with many thousands of people losing their lives and the horrific continuing battles. So what will emerge is moderates both in Israeli society and in the Palestinian, and the same thing is going to happen again in terms of Israel's relationship with its neighbors, and in particular Lebanon, and more particularly with the Hezbollah, and in Gaza, Hamas, and further the same convergence of East-West logics that show the workability, the viability of secular humanism and traditional spiritualists in convergence, raising up the moderates to establish the dialogic of peace and sustainable human development in a common model, a shared common model for regional peace, namely humanomics. That's going to bring about the same convergence in respect of the larger regional needs, such as Iraq and Iran, and particularly the latter, because here is Ahmadinejad and his Sunni Mashiach. Well, there's the traditional spiritualists having the contempt of the former extremist secular constructs in Israel that were Zionist, that is now collapsed. Well, the secular unionism that emerges with a leadership of moderates in relation to traditional spiritualists who are also moderates in Israel will make for a natural and a much more a sustainable convergence and a dialogic for an enduring peace in the region. So this is where we're going. This is what we have. And everybody is called to the task, and the secular recognizes this as the postmodernist construct, both of logic and content, as well for the region. So come on, let's all of us pitch in, and let's understand we have the solution and we have the way forward, and let's clear the decks, and let's start the dialogue, and let's ascend the learning curve. And we have a collapse of the local reality, and that means the end of man and mankind's exile. It also means the end of the modern era, and we're in the postmodern era. So we got to deconstruct, deprogram. We have to restore, and we have to heal, and ascend the learning curve to inhabit the quantum reality, which is what? Humanomics in general, and its central organizing principle, which is receiving to give, which is the new cognitive behavioral science paradigm. Amen. Enough. That's it, folks. That's where we are. That's what we're doing. Come on, Barak, that's your foreign policy for the Middle East, and Mel Levine will be the first to tell you it's correct if he's not hiding under the table still. he wouldn't call you up and say, this guy's got some good ideas, so I'll do it myself. Thank you.